Holly Bergen, Francis Fay, John Raitt, Lou Alexander, and the Sunshine Company.
Ladies and gentlemen, last week we had a young man on, and I've known Lou Alexander for quite some time, and he doesn't get out here too often. He says, I would sure like to do this show, and I said, Lou, let me see if we can fit you in. We had him on the show last week, and he thought I was kind of putting him on by asking him to go back so quickly. We thought he did an excellent job, and I feel certain you will too. Will you welcome now Lou Alexander?
Thank you. I've been watching the show in the green room backstage, and I noticed so far you've had two great singers on the show. And I think the only thing you haven't had tonight is dancing. So I don't want you to be cheated. I'm going to tell you about a dancer that I worked with about 3 months ago in a club that was completely different than any dance I have ever seen. This dancer did what you call modern interpretive dancing. That means every movement of the hands and every movement of the legs tells a story. This was her big step. That means the beach is hot. Oh, you got to tell a story when you dance. You just don't come out and dance today. Everybody tells a story. You ever see the flamenco dances? They always give it this here, right? Know what that means? Send up more heat. Gotta tell it. You know, it's a pleasure to come out on this show because, first of all, television is such a beautiful medium. Because I come from the school of tough nightclubs. And I was working a club just about 2 years ago in New York City. It's a true story. It was so tough, a guy walked in one night and walked over to the piano player. He says, hey, you with the broken nose, play Begin to Begin. He says, I don't have a broken nose. When they begin, they begin. Tonight, I think I'd like to discuss something that I have actually lived. I'd like to discuss package tours. They have a thing going on today called package tours. You can travel all over the country. It's the new economical way of traveling. You can go to Miami Beach, you can go to Las Vegas, Puerto Rico, Mexico, Europe. And I actually went to Miami Beach on a package tour just because I wanted to talk about this subject. Now, here's exactly how they advertise it in the brochures and the magazines. Word for word. 7 days and 6 nights in fun-filled Miami Beach. 3 shows a night in 3 different hotels. Swimming, dancing, boating, fishing, romancing, sightseeing, horseback riding, 18-hole golf course, Hertz rent-a-car disposal at the airport. All this for $19.36. Now, you're probably wondering how they can afford to give you all of this at such a ridiculously low, low price. Well, it's simple. They lie. No, they don't really lie. They just exaggerate a little. What they give you is true, but how they give it to you is another story. Like, for instance, they always advertise luxury flights. Now, that's true. In World War I, this plane would have been a luxury. In fact, the luxuries we had off the plane. This was such a poor airline, we took off from a softball field. And that's while the game was still on. Now, they have 2 different kinds of tours in case you people ever decide to go on them. There is one tour you can separate. Then there's another tour you cannot separate. Now, the tour that I was on, you could not separate. That means wherever you go, you must march together in a group. Like if you go to the bathroom, 170 people go with you. If you go swimming in the afternoon, you march single file onto the beach. After 3 days of this, you feel like you've been sentenced. Don't laugh. I overheard 2 people in the group planning a break. I'll tell you, I've been knocking the tour, but I must talk in defense of it. The one great thing about this tour is that you're never lonely. That's because they plan every move for you every day. Like, for instance, the first day there, they wake you up at 9 o'clock in the morning. We just checked into the hotel at 6. They said, everybody up! Be in front of the hotel in 10 minutes. We're going to visit the alligator farm. The first day it's the alligator farm, the next day it's the monkey jungle, then it's the parrot jungle, then it's the sequarium. And believe it or not, all of this is in the Fontainebleau. Now, the great thing about this tour, really, is that when you check into a hotel, any resort you go to, they always give each a fascinating name. Like they don't call Monday night a Monday night, or Tuesday night a Tuesday night. Like in Miami Beach, Monday night is not Monday night. It's Mardi Gras night. They give you a mask and a horn, and they put you in a small room, and they show you old movies on New Orleans. Tuesday night is champagne night. This is where they have a dance contest, and the winning couple is presented with a bottle of champagne, which you have to share with everybody else on the tour. This comes out to about a bubble apiece. Wednesday and Thursday, not too much happened, but Friday night, that was the big night. Here's what they advertise 3 different shows in 3 different hotels. Now, they put you on these buses outside the clubs, and you go from one show to the other. In the first club, they advertise really scintillating, beautiful dancing routine. And then when you go to the second hotel, they advertise beautiful dancing Spanish routines. Then when they finally take you to the third hotel, they call really scintillating, beautiful South American routines. Now you get the strangest feeling. The same show is following you from hotel to hotel on the bus behind you. The shows are the same, they just changed the bus drivers. Now finally Sunday comes, checkout time. Now you have to check out of your hotel by 12 noon. Your plane doesn't leave until 12 midnight. This gives you 12 lovely hours to walk in the street with your bags until your plane comes in. I'll never forget the trip home. The night we landed in New York by train from Philadelphia. They told us we couldn't land in New York because of inclement weather. They said it was too sunny. You probably won't believe this, but we all felt a little sad about leaving each other. You never saw such unhappy faces as there were that night in Grand Central Station. Especially the people who lived in Philadelphia. But you know, I have actually been kidding around about this tour. It's really a beautiful thing to go on. And when you actually come back from a tour and you have been thinking about all these lovely people you have been traveling with, you actually start missing the monkey jungle, the parrot jungle. Thank you very much. You've been very nice to us. Good night.
Good job.
Lou Alexander.
Thank you. We will be right back. I want to talk to you a little bit because
I'd love it.
Lou, the last time I was on, we didn't get a chance to talk, and he went for some time, rather steady. I believe was engaged to Pat Collins, the hypnotist, and I always wanted to find out what it's like to go with a hypnotist.
Oh,
we'll be back after a word from your local station.
Okay.
Oh, that's okay. They certainly enjoyed it. I told the people and the home viewers that you had gone with, and I'm sure she won't object. She's very happily married now with Pat Collins, the hypnotist. And many times you spoke to me and you said, I got to tell you some of the things when you're going steady with a hypnotist. Now, do you want to tell them to me now?
Well, first of all, it is true. I went with a hypnotist for 2.5 years, and it was out here in California. And as soon as I went back to New York, all my closest friends asked me the same question. What was it like going with a hypnotist? Who knows? I'll tell you, I never really knew I was hypnotized with this girl until one night I took her out to a very exclusive restaurant on Santa Monica. And the maitre d' walked over, says, table for 2. I woke up. You know, there's a lot of interesting things about true things about hypnosis. Like, I think you know that a hypnotist can actually take you back to your childhood. That's called regression. They can take you back to like when you're 5 or 6 years old and get to the core of your problem. And a lot of psychiatrists are doing this today that know hypnosis. And this girl used to do it out here in a club that she was working because she was very popular among the movie set. And she used to take back, you know, all the stars back to their childhood. Like, she took Jerry Lewis back to his childhood. And she found out he directed his own birth. She found out the real reason why Georgie Jessel goes with young girls. You know why? Because he's a wild old man, that's why. I tell you, there's a lot of... when you go with a hypnotist, it's actually a touchy subject because no matter how close we were, she never called me Lou. To her, I was always a subject. Now, that would have been all right if she was Queen Elizabeth. But you know what it is to be going with a hypnotist? And she always wanted to practice on me. Like I was a big kick. Like, one day she said she wanted to stop people from smoking. So, of course, she was going to practice on me. Now, the trouble is I didn't smoke. So first she taught me how to smoke. And then she broke me of the habit. Then another time she said she wanted to stop people from, curing headaches. She wanted to cure headaches. So, of course, she came to me again, same thing. First she gave me a headache. And then she cured me of the headache through hypnosis. Now, are you ready? One day she came running over to me. She said, Lou, did you know that hypnosis is playing a big part today in childbirth? Don't laugh, it was an 8-pound baby boy. You mentioned the other day about embarrassing moments that you had in nightclubs.
Actually, it was Bert Lahr who had mentioned that he'd had quite an embarrassing moment on an opening night for Ziegfeld.
Right.
That's what it was.
Right. Well, I was relating back to an embarrassing moment that I had. It actually happened the first time I was ever on television. It was in New York City. And I did the show, and as I was walking out, the director grabbed me and he said, if you get a lot of mail on this show, that it's the greatest thing in the world, you keep coming back. So I went home and I told my wife, write letters. And before you know it, she told her grandmother and her aunt. And I had letters coming in from all over the country. All over. So finally, I think it was the star of the show was Johnny Andrews. He had a morning show. And he called me in one day and he said, I've never seen anything like it. It's fantastic. I have never seen mail like this in my entire life on this show. You have it from Kentucky. You got it from Cleveland, Pittsburgh. He said, there's only one problem. It's a local show. It doesn't leave New York.
That's embarrassing. We'll be right back after this word from your local station.